So up to this point in the semester, we have looked at the physics that pretty much works on the Earth's surface. But all we have to do is go outside on a dark night, look up in the sky, and see that there are other things around us. Stars, galaxies, a lot of stuff in the universe. And we can even just look at the moon and start to think, well, what would happen if we moved to these other locations? And really, a bigger question, what happens if we look at the interaction of all these large galaxies, stars, you name it, what's out there? Is there a more general approach that we need to be taking? Well, up to this point, we've talked about gravity, a big concept that we've had that really focuses on the gravity near the Earth's surface. And we've just sort of presented it as the force of gravity being mg. Well, we're going to actually take a little bit of a further step into what gravity actually is. And we'll look at some of the repercussions for this. So, what is gravity? That's our big question. Well, simply, gravity is a force that exerts between any two objects that have mass. And when I say any two objects, I mean any two objects, a shoe and a cantaloupe. The two of them, because both objects have mass, they're going to exert forces on each other, and we call that force gravity. It's a little bit different than the force exerted from the Earth. Mainly, the big difference is that the Earth is really, really, really massive. Stars are really massive. Your shoe, not so much. So in the next videos, we're going to look at three major points. And actually two of them we've seen before, but we're going to actually go into more depth. First one is, what's the force of gravity? So I say that there's a force between two objects that have mass. What is that force? Second thing, what is the gravitational potential energy? We've seen this before. When we had gravity, when we have objects that are raised to a certain height in a gravitational field or near the Earth's surface, we see that they have potential energy. So let's extend that out to see if there's a more general set of equations that we use to model this behavior. And last but not least is the introduction into Kepler's three laws. Kepler introduced three laws that happen to deal with universal gravity, and they deal with really the orbiting of objects around other objects. Satellites around the Earth, the moon around the Earth around the sun. All types of orbits were treated with Kepler's three laws. So we're going to look at those at the very end. So in the next couple videos, we're going to be working through a more extended version and a more in-depth version of what actually gravity is.